Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, reveal the books I bought this week, and, if I screw up, a blooper reel. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Clint's Comics right here in Monroe, Louisiana, and I am just over 50 away from 8,000 comics. And, of course, as I've said, I'm going to make an 8K themed Comic Hero tee just like I did when I got to 7,000 comics almost 2 years ago. And, I want to thank everyone who has already voted. And I'm saying that because at the time you're watching this, it's probably either Friday or Saturday. Today, as I'm doing it, it's Wednesday. And as soon as I'm done with this episode, I'm gonna put them up one more time for y'all to vote. But thank y'all for voting. And anyway, speaking of tees, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode I asked, true or false? Star Wars is loosely based on the excerpt A Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. Well, the correct answer is true. When George Lucas created, he used all the elements in that excerpt, which are ordinary world, call to adventure, refusal of the call, meeting the mentor, crossing the threshold, test allies and enemies, approach to the inmost cave, ordeal, reward, the road back, resurrection, and return with the elixir. Now Lucas didn't exactly use all of Campbell's elements in that, not literally, not all by word. He didn't want to exactly use it to a T. I mean, who does that? But anyway, the answer is true, and 4 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in the drawing for a free tee, and that takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Amber Allison from Spring Hill, Louisiana. So congratulations, Amber, you win yourself a free tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode. Now, this is a very easy question. This question is so easy that my little 1-year-old cousin, Eric, could answer this. This is a Spider-Man question. Before Mary J. Watson, who was Spider-Man's first love interest? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. Now, D'Angelo Ballou from Warren, Ohio, has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features 2 DC characters who are both unstoppable in their own ways. Representing DC, we have Superman Prime 1 Million, and also representing DC, we have Dr. Manhattan. These 2 are gonna duke it out in a segment I like to call the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. All right, now I went to 2 places. Earlier I went to Shreveport. I left my mom's house and went to Shreveport. We went to Excalibur Comics and bought 4 books. Then there was this one book that I was looking for, so I couldn't find it there. So I ended up going to Books A Million here in Monroe, or Monroe rather. I'm in West Monroe, by the way. And here they are. I'm not going to give a brief description of these books because you have a show to watch. All right, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 27. Secret Warriors number 1. X-Men Blue number 3. X-Men Prime. So glad I found this. And finally, Teen Titans number 7. Now with that 5, that brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,947. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Superman Prime 1 Million versus Dr. Manhattan. Superman Prime 1 Million possesses solar energy absorption, heat vision, super hearing, enhanced vision, electromagnetic spectrum vision, telescopic vision, X-ray vision, microscopic vision, infrared vision, flight, invulnerability, superhuman stamina, superhuman strength, superhuman speed, superhuman agility, superhuman reflexes, super breath, solar supercharge, power bequeathment, immortality, indomitable will, and a solar super flare. Dr. Manhattan possesses atomic manipulation, teleportation, super genius intelligence, atomic energy projection, invulnerability, perfect memory, extrasensory and visual powers, size alteration, dimensional travel, precognition, self-duplication, and self-sustenance. Who will win? This fight wouldn't even be in this solar system, much less on this planet. Dr. Manhattan understands that Superman is a lot more different than he usually is, so he strikes first. He tries to use atomic energy on Superman Prime 1 Million, but the latter is unaffected. Superman Prime 1 Million combines his super speed and super strength and delivers a series of quick punches and kicks. After a few seconds of this, Dr. Manhattan grows up to 2,000 feet. He then swats Superman Prime 1 Million away like a fly. Superman Prime 1 Million bounces back and flies towards Dr. Manhattan, but the latter immediately teleports out of harm's way. He then reappears behind Superman Prime 1 Million and makes duplicates of himself. They all gang up on Superman Prime 1 Million, but the latter powerfully pushes them off of him. Dr. Manhattan thinks about going to another dimension to find some kryptonite, but realizes that Superman Prime 1 Million is immortal and no longer vulnerable to kryptonite. The two go their separate ways. This fight ends in a draw. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and if you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Before I go on, I just want to let y'all know that our good friend Scott has brought by a whole bunch of skateboards. So when you come to Clint's Comics, you won't just buy comics, you won't just buy cards, you won't just buy games, you won't just buy pop vinyls or anything like that. You'll also buy skateboards. So if you're a skater boy or a skater girl, come on by and get you a skateboard. All right, first up is X-Men Gold number 3. Now I still haven't gotten started with this because, as y'all saw in the mystery pop-up scene, I just bought X-Men Prime. And one thing about me, I really don't. I'm kind of a little OCD in terms of reading certain books. I'm trying to break that habit because, well, I shouldn't be too, because there's really nothing wrong with backtracking. But this features some of the older X-Men characters like Wolverine, well, and really Old Man Logan, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, and Prestige, aka Rachel Gray. All right, next up is Batman number 23. Now, before this issue, it was part of a crossover event with the Flash called The Button. And what happened in the first issue of The Button was the first one takes place in the prison where Saturn Girl of the Legion of Superheroes is being imprisoned. And they're watching his hockey game, and all of a sudden, she keeps uttering this crazy stuff like Superman won't save us and all this other stuff. And then meanwhile, back in the Batcave, the Button ends up striking lightning on what was the Psycho Pirate's mask. And then all of a sudden, Professor Zoom, aka Eobard Thawne, shows up and starts beating the mess out of the Flash. He starts beating the mess out of Batman while the Flash is on his way to the Batcave. Then he grabs the button and then disappears. But then he comes right back and he starts to decay and dies. And by the time the Flash got there, he's thinking, okay, what's going on here? But this is part of a standalone. It's part of a story arc called The Brave and the Mold, which guest stars Swamp Thing. All right, next up is Super Sons number 4. Now I haven't even read past the first issue on this one. I'm not even going to deny it. But I'm really excited about this book because it stars Superboy and Robin, and I like their personalities. I like how Superboy is a lot more dorkier and a little more defiant than his dad. And the same also goes for Damian being Robin. After all, he was also trained in the League of Assassins. So, yeah. All right, next up is Green Lanterns number 23. Now, I'm still very behind on this book as well. Just bear with me. But it stars Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. They're the Green Lanterns of the Earth now. And things are coming easy for them. As a matter of fact, Rami, who was the Wayward Lantern, ended up switching bodies with the bad guy, and he's masquerading as Rami and while at the same time training him. Then they've gone up against they teamed up with Batman, and they've also gone up against Dr. Polaris.
Dr. Pepper, that's what it is right there.
All right, next up is Aquaman number 23. Now I'm still a little tear it up. Now I'm still a little behind on this book as well. But Aquaman and Mera have gone through a lot. I mean, they're currently engaged, and Aquaman has almost lost the throne of Atlantis. I mean, he's been framed for a crime that he didn't commit by the U.S. military. He's teamed up with these ex-Marines who call themselves the Ultramarines, who can transform into hybrid human sea creatures. And he's even went toe-to-toe with Superman. All right, next up, and I'm very excited about this, Generation X number 1. Now, Generation X was kind of a younger version of the X-Men. They're all students at the Xavier School for Higher Learning. And Jubilee, once again, is the leader of this team, and I can't wait to read this. All right, next up is the Mighty Thor number 19. Now, this is a continuation of the Shi'ar Asgardian War. And even, now, if it's Shi'ar, it has something to do with the Phoenix. I'm still a little behind on this book, but I'll let y'all know what happens in a future episode. All right, next up is Secret Empire number 2. Now, again, I haven't even started on Secret Empire because although I did just read Captain America Steve Rogers number 15, and this takes place after the events of Uncanny Avengers, where the Uncanny Avengers capture the Red Skull and take back Xavier's brain. And at this point, he is without Xavier's brain, and he's still trying to figure out how to take down Rogers. Well, Rogers does just that to him, and now he is not just the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he is also the leader of Hydra. I mean, heck, even his daughter Sin even kneel down to him, even bow down to him. That's messed up. All right, next up is Invincible Iron Man number 7. Now, Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, is still learning the ropes about using her new armor with the tutelage of an AI version of Tony Stark, and she's even being recruited as to be an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she's also even being recruited to become a member of a younger team of superheroes called the Champions. And she's still learning the ropes. All right, and finally, Royals #3. Now, I love this book because it stars, it's the Inhumans core book. Stars Black Bolt, Medusa, Crystal, Gorgon, the Reader. I mean, I could just go on and on. I mean, this book is strictly Inhumans. All right, that's 10 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,957. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and here's the question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. This is a very easy one. It's a Spider-Man question. Before Mary Jane Watson, who was Spider-Man's first love interest? Everyone who answers correctly begin in the drawing for a free tee in next week's episode, and congratulations to Amber Allison from Spring Hill, Louisiana, who won a free tee in this week's episode. All right, it's birthday time here on the Comic Hero Show, and happy birthday this past Monday to my good friend Jessica Smith. Happy birthday to my good friend and member of the Rose City Rollers, Lorelei Kilmore herself, Megan DeLon. Happy birthday yesterday to my good friend and former bandmate at the Sound of Today at ULM, Amber Moore. Happy birthday to my old 4-H sponsor when I was in 6th and 7th grade, Mrs. Dora Ann Hatch. Happy birthday on Thursday to Kadara McGee. Happy birthday on Thursday to one of my friends that I went to school with at ULM, Sydney Davis. Happy birthday this Friday to one of my friends that I was in band with at Bossier Parish Community College, Bonnie Lejeune. Happy birthday this Friday to Julie Worley. Happy birthday on Saturday to my good friend from Jacksonville, Arkansas, Sarah Kelling. Happy birthday this Saturday to my good friend from Raleigh, North Carolina by way of Bossier City, Stephen White. Happy birthday this Sunday to one of my good friends who is the manager of the Dairy Queen on East Texas Street in Bossier City, Leslie Chisholm. And a very special happy birthday this Sunday to our current reigning Miss Louisiana, Justine Kerr. All right, and also I want to mention that that this past Monday, my good friends Amy and Nathaniel Medlin welcomed their first child into the world, Emma Grace. So welcome to the world, Emma Grace. I know I tell you, that baby is. I saw pictures of her. That baby is not only beautiful, but she is going to be. When she gets older, she is going to be very, very smart and very, very talented. So, congratulations, Amy and Nathaniel. Love you guys. And I got myself a little comic hero. Yeah. All right. And on a very serious note, I just found out this morning that one of my classmates, Lakeisha George, passed away. And just yesterday marked 17 years since the class of 2000 graduated from Homer High School. I just want to say to anyone who knew her, anyone that was in my graduating class who's watching this, just keep your head up. She's in a place we're all trying to get to. And also, I want to say to her twin sister, Tamisha, who is also in my graduating class, and then their mom, Miss Rita, my thoughts and prayers are with you right now. And I'm very sorry.
They have like 2,000 decks on there, yeah.
I mean, just like I said before, again, she's in a much better place, a place we're all trying to get to. So, just got to keep the faith. And
Is this the only?
I mean, it's okay to mourn.
I didn't see it.
It's okay to miss somebody.
Somewhere either on this side or that. Yeah.
I know, because I've had to say goodbye to a lot of people throughout my life. All right, folks, I am 43 away from 8,000 comics, and so be sure. So I thank everyone who's voted for the number fonts for the T, and I promise you that your votes will not go in vain. And you'll find out when I get to the episode where I get to 8,000 comics, which will probably be maybe next month. Definitely not going to be this month. All right, I'm Victor Nolly. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 167, right back here at Clint's Comics. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero. All right, now I just got back in for Shreveport, and I went to Excalibur Comics in Shreveport. Ended up in.
Somebody called you on the phone and then.
All right, first up is X-Men Gold #3. Now I haven't even gotten started reading X-Men Gold because, as I just said in the mystery pop-up scene, or the pop-up, said it backwards. Wolverine.